Hey folks, just wanted to make a quick video to talk about some of the things that I've learned since I started hiking last September. I'm still a newbie, but I've had a couple of close encounters, and I just wanted to share some of the things that I've learned with you guys, and hopefully it'll help somebody else. So I wanted to talk about the hiking poles. Hiking poles are something that I have for unknown reasons really struggled with. So this is one from my first hike in the Grand Canyon. Let's see, the brand name is the Fit Life. It was about $22 on Amazon for the pair. They were the anti-shock, nice soft rubber grip. My first set of hiking poles. So these lasted about halfway down the South Kaibab Trail, and the locking mechanism stripped out to where the pole no longer locks into place. It's supposed to lock when you turn it this way. It's supposed to lock it into place. However, that's stripped out and it now just free spins, which means there's nothing controlling it from going down. Once you stretch it open to the right size, you can't put any weight on it. It just goes back down. So no good. I assume that was just because of the wear and tear of the Grand Canyon. It's just hard on them. So I bought another $20 pair. So this one was the second one that I broke. I broke this one on a overnight backpacking trip in the Big South Fork. We were going down a bank with leaves, and I guess the bottom got stuck in some vines or something. I never noticed it until it was gone. So somewhere in Big South Fork is the rest of this hiking pole. So it just broke right here. You can see where it cracked in the locking mechanism again and just completely let go. So its partner I used by itself for a hike on Alum Cave in the Great Smoky Mountains. It lasted for most of the trip, and then probably 2 miles left to go on that trail, the locking mechanism again broke and the pole separated. Didn't fall out completely this time, but it wouldn't lock in to where it kept the pole from sliding up and down or bearing any weight. So this set, no good. So for my third pair, I am trying these called Alpine Summit Trailmaster. These are a little bit more expensive than the other two pairs, and by a little more, they're around $30 versus $20. So we're gonna give these a try and see what happens. Shoes, one of the most important things about hiking. So between these two pairs of shoes, I've hiked roughly 104 miles since September of 2019. Started out with just this pair of Columbia hiking boots. I literally did my first hike with them in the Grand Canyon. I thought I had broken them in well, but they were not, and I got massive blisters. So the thing that I learned from wearing these shoes is, one, to wear 2 pairs of socks. I like wearing the compression socks that are thin and tight to your feet as the bottom layer, and then wear a thicker short sock over the top to provide that padding that allows the friction to occur between the 2 pairs of socks and not on your skin. Has been the most helpful thing that I've found as far as shoes go. The other thing, after the Grand Canyon hike, I decided that I did not need this heavy duty of a boot just for general everyday hiking, and I switched over to these. They're a lot lighter, more breathable, and just more comfortable all around than the heavy hiking boot. So the time that I do wear the hiking boots, anytime you're hiking in the winter, highly recommend the boots with the high ankle. Pair those with a pair of gaiters. and some ice cleats, and you're good to go. So, but for summer hiking in general, I would say wear comfortable sneakers. I did also get this pair of insoles that I put in both pairs of my shoes. I do have flat feet, so I wear these for arch sport, but I put an identical pair in both pairs of shoes so that no matter which ones I wear, my feet are moving the same way. So I did try the moleskin. In the back of these I would get blisters where my insoles would slide forward, and basically it would pinch my skin between the shoe and the insole. So I did put moleskin there, and that has helped. I did also try moleskin in the front on the inside of the shoe, but it didn't stay in place very well, so I ended up taking that back out as it would rub the top of my feet versus providing any kind of padding. So I'm not a big fan of moleskin. Again, I just prefer the 2 layers of socks versus adding to your shoes. So gaiters. Again, I just bought a cheap pair on Amazon. I have worn these twice now. One time was in the Smoky Mountains. We hiked through almost 6 inches of snow at the top of Mount LeConte. They did keep my feet and legs nice and cozy and dry and warm. Highly recommend these for snow hiking. The second time I wore them was in the backcountry of Mammoth Cave National Park through deep mud. Again, they did keep my feet dry and the tops of my shoes clean, so definitely worth the $20-some on Amazon. Ice cleats. I did wear these in the Smoky Mountains. They are literally a lifesaver. If I was planning to use them a lot, I would probably look for a different pair as these slip-ons, where they have this large space. You will get ice balls in there and lose your traction and have to stop and clean these out like every few hundred feet. So if you're planning on hiking in a lot of snow and ice, I would probably try out some different options. These were the cheapest ones we found, and like I said, they were a lifesaver for that time, but if I was going to use them a lot, I would probably look for a different type. Here is a couple of things that I always take with me when I go hiking. Now, obviously your map's going to want to be specific to where you're going, but still, always take a map. Also, All Trails doubles as a map if you don't have a paper copy. All Trails is really good for kind of giving you turn-by-turn directions. So yeah, that works in a pinch if you are not able to get a paper map. Most importantly, the headlamp. Always carry a headlamp with me, and the last hike I went on, I was really glad that I did, because we ended up being out hiking until almost midnight when we had planned for just a quick day hike, but because it's part of my emergency pack, I had it with me, and luckily I did. The only mistake that I made that time was not taking the extra batteries, and we almost ran out of batteries before we got back to the car. So going forward, I'll always take some extra batteries with me for it as well. And then the power pack for the phone will always be going with me going forward, because that could have doubled as another light. We didn't have service to call anybody, but definitely worked as a flashlight after the headlamps gave out. Luckily we made it back to the car when we still had 20% battery left on our phone, but power pack would have been a nice comfortable thing to have. Snake bite kit, luckily I've never had to use it yet, and hopefully never will, but it does give me an extra layer of comfort to have it along. And as I mentioned, multiple different sizes of bandages for blisters, first aid, what have you. Same with this, ace bandage, Benadryl, antibiotic ointment, and anti-diarrhea pills. So there's my must-haves anytime I go hiking, no matter the length of the hike or the location. Always take these items with me. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned on my hiking trips is that it can be hard to eat enough. You're burning a lot of calories while you're out there hiking, so you need to constantly replace those. And once you're hot, sweaty, or you know, if you're cold and working hard, it can be hard to even want to eat. So taking food along that you're actually going to be eating and that is easy to eat is key to keeping up your energy. So I always take snack foods that I like to eat, stuff that I know that I'm going to eat, like potato chips, pretzels, those types of things. Sometimes I have a little bit of a hard time eating stuff like protein bars or things along those lines. So I like to take these for my meals. These are not only delicious and tons of calories, but they're also warm and give you a lot of energy back. So they're called Zero Meals, O-Meals, whatever you want to call them. And they come in tons of different flavors. Super easy to make. You just pour in the water into the heating pack, and they're usually ready in about 15 minutes or so. Did find out that it takes longer when it's super cold. It's definitely worth it. As you can see, they're only 8 ounces, so you pack a couple along on a short trip, not too much weight. Definitely worth it. And the other thing that I discovered was always take a means of filtering water. On long hikes, you almost always use more water than you think, so always take a way of filtering water out of creeks. And on the note of replacing energy that you're using, I love these Gatorade chews. They taste just like the Gatorade flavors, but they're packed with electrolytes and things that replace your energy. So each of the little squares in this package is 100 calories a piece. So it's really quick, easy calorie replacement. Just carry it in one of your pockets and eat them as you need to replace your energy. So here's another item that saved my butt. We were hiking on Mount LeConte in the snow, cold. It was, I think the wind chill was -13, if I remember correctly. Either way, it was really cold and the wind was just absolutely howling. We stopped to eat our lunch at the top by the lodges. We sat on one of the porches as it was closed for the season. We couldn't get inside, so we sat on one of the porches. We were soaking wet because we hadn't prepared for the snowstorm and did not wear waterproof outer layers, so our clothes were soaked through. We were shivering. Pretty sure we were borderline hypothermic. So I wrapped myself in this mylar blanket to eat my lunch, and it blocked the wind and helped keep my body heat in. I'm pretty sure that literally kept me from freezing. It's one of those items that I took along and I was like, probably never going to use this, not going to need this, but I had it just in case, and I am really glad that I did. I don't go winter hiking a lot, but it does have its perks. Winter hiking can be amazing, and most of the trails are much less crowded during the winter. So I wanted to share 2 articles of clothing that I absolutely love for winter hiking. First is this shirt. Again, purchased on Amazon. This is just a lightweight, kind of stretchy knit shirt. Moisture wicking from the inside, is super breathable, extremely comfortable, doesn't pinch or pull. The only thing about this shirt is it will not keep you dry if you get caught in a snowstorm. It will soak through to your skin. However, it's a wonderful shirt for dry conditions. As an outer layer, love this jacket. It's super lightweight and is waterproof for snow. In a heavy rain, I believe you would probably still get wet, but as far as snow hiking, it will keep you dry and cozy. It's also super lightweight, so easy to roll up and put in your backpack if you don't need it. So last but not least, I wanted to talk about sleeping bags. So when I was getting ready for my first backpacking trip in the Grand Canyon, I bought this sleeping bag. I bought it because it was specific for backpackers. It was super light, super small and compact, easy to fit in a backpack. The issue with this one is that it's extremely thin. It provides little to no padding for sleeping on the ground. So I invested in this one. This one is just a regular, normal, lightweight sleeping bag, not specific to backpacking and hiking, and just a little bit thicker than the original. It also doesn't provide much padding for sleeping on the ground. So this last backpacking trip that I went on in Big South Fork, I took both sleeping bags, assuming that it would be soft with a combination of two. Plus we slept on the sand. It was not comfortable. So sleep is extremely valuable when you're backpacking. The 2 backpacking trips that I went on where I did not sleep at all, partially due to uncomfortable sleeping bags. I will be investing in a sleeping mat before I go again the next time.